this in Jason's hands.
Like so, right?
Yep.
Oh, we're doing it this way. Okay. What?
Okay, so.
And yes, and now.
Okay. We're going to make a center pull ball. So what you're going to do is...
It's called a center pull ball.
Because you're going to be able to pull from the center.
Right.
You're going to hold the yarn over your 2 fingers. You're going to make a couple of figure 8s. Maybe 5, 6 figure 8s. When you're done with that, this is going to be your center. You're going to keep this loose at all times. Fold this in half. And just wrap around a couple of times here.
Okay.
Oops. Okay, keep it loose. You don't want it too tight. You're going to turn it this way.
And
I think I hit another knot here. Of course I did.
that's okay. See, this is good because you get to see.
That happens when you hit the second knot.
Right. So now let's just find the way to get it out.
Yes. And the reason you ball it is if you try to knit with it as a skein, it's going to make a horrible, horrible kind of a mess. It's just going to be tangled. When I first started knitting, I was using big skeins of yarn that were already center pull, red heart specifically, and I would reball them so that they were no longer center pull balls because for some reason I thought you always balled yarn. Then I found out you didn't have to do that with red heart. So I figured, oh, you never have to do that. Fantastic! So I stopped balling yarn. Then I came upon my first skein like this. It lasted about 2 rows before the skein was too badly tangled to salvage. When it's a skein, you must ball it. So basically at this point, now that we've got that knot out, you're just going to go around this way and that way.
And you see, as I'm doing this, and this is what I do when I help to do this, I move my wrists a little bit to make sure that it kind of flows easy. I don't know if it's
very helpful, yes.
You know, because what you do is, as you see, I'm moving my lid like this, just a little bit, because if you move stationary, sometimes the yarn gets tangled, but if you just help it out a little bit, the yarn bowling goes a bit faster. And you also get good exercise with going from left to right.
If you don't have somebody available, you can wrap it around the back of a chair that's reasonably the same size. I've seen people wrap it around their knees or their feet.
Just one quick question before we get to the end here. How are you alternating the ball of yarn when you're rolling it?
Okay, basically what I'm doing, I'm just going to slow it down. I'm just going around and around and around. And when it feels like enough, when it feels like it's likely to just sort of overflow.
Yeah, how do you twist it?
I just turn it.
Okay.
And you're going in 3 basic directions.
And what does this do for the yarn?
Well, this makes it so that it's in a usable format.
Mm-hmm.
You can use this. You can knit straight from this. You're pulling this as you go.
Right.
And it's a nice center pull ball. It's easy to work with.
Uh-huh.
The big thing to remember as you go is to keep this hole clear enough so that you can keep pulling out the yarn.
Yeah, what does it mean again, center pull?
You're pulling from the center.
Okay, that's cool, but
it's you have 2 sides to the yarn. You have the end that's going to end up on the outside, and the end that started it, which is now all the way on the inside. Center pull means you're taking the one
now,
that's
do you use that for the cast on, or do you just use it in general?
You use it throughout the whole project.
Okay, now how do you tie it off at the end here?
This is very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're just going to tuck it in. Just tuck it under a few strands. That's all there is to it.
No, look, Ma, no yarn, 1 ball. Okay, now, as you can see, we have a completed ball of yarn, which we did by hand.
It's soft.
And it's soft and cute and pretty and all that good stuff. Now, these mechanical devices look like a thing you hang laundry on, and I don't know what that looks like. But what are these things, and what are we going to do with them?
This is called a swift or an umbrella swift, and this is called a ball winder. They work together, they're sold separately.
Okay.
Most yarn stores carry them.
What's the usual price of something like this?
Ooh, I've seen swifts go from anywhere between 40 and 100, and ball winders I've seen 30, 40, 60.
Okay, so we are going to again open the skein of yarn to the same way. we're now going to have the Swift used as my hands, correct?
Yes, I'm gonna unknot, and this time I'm gonna remember to get both knots. A piece of skein is usually tied
Twice.
in 2 places or more. I usually forget this fact until I get started.
Okay.
Sorry, I do. Now, the reason I always unknot, some people will cut the ties and some people unknot them. And the reason I always unknot them is I'm always worried that I'm going to cut the middle of the strand in some place that I'm not supposed to.
And
And this is largely because I have done that before. One thing I will warn you when you're using a Swift and a ball winder, you're going to have 2 points where the strand is going to hang down. One is going to be naturally leaning towards the outside. One is going to lean more naturally towards the inside. You're going to be using the one that's more naturally on the outside. You're simply going to put it around your ball winder, your Swift, and you have a button back here, just like if you're going to expand an umbrella. It's an umbrella Swift because it operates like one. Operates like an umbrella. And you're just going to expand it. Until holds it out nicely. Next thing I'm going to warn you is be very careful on whatever kind of furniture you're going to put one of these on. It is a clamp. You're clamping it to your table, and very soft wood will scratch. So you're going to put like a little cloth or towel if you're worried about something like that. To put it on the ball winder, you're going to thread it like so. And then you're going to thread the yarn up top here. Now, one thing I learned with ball winders is it comes in this position. And what I was doing for a long time is I thought it was very clever to just keep it like this. And that's a bad idea because you're going to get very bad balls of yarn. You do have to push it all the way and lock it. That may be painfully obvious to most of the universe, but I managed to mess that one up about 6 or 7 times when I was starting. So I figured I'd spare someone like me the difficulty. You hold the yarn with one hand, right by the Swift to guide it, and you turn the crank with the other hand. You do not want to go too swiftly with this because it will stretch the yarn to some extent, and the yarn, after it relaxes in your project, will unstretch, and that's going to mess up your gauge. So you're going to be knitting to gauge, but then have a garment that's one size too small. So go gently, go slowly.
And as you can see, the yarn is, this is a lot easier and a lot faster, however.
And this is the other problem that I tend to find a lot.
Yes, I just noticed that myself.
Is the far end will occasionally fall down and then snag. And what you just do is you run it along the outside edge, tuck it down underneath, and continue apace. And I've probably balled maybe about 15 or 20 skeins of yarn in a night this way without a problem.
Now,